Good morning. Hare Krishna. Yato Bhagavati Choritam. So this morning we get to read the Srimad-bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 1, Text 42, our incredible good fortune. And incredible is a word that gets way overused. When we say credible means something that you can, all right, that makes sense. That's reasonable. That's believable. But incredible means, no, there's just no way that could happen. So the conversation 5,000 years ago was written down. I don't know, did they write it on palm leaves or whatever the system was? There's a system where they scratch the letters on a palm leaf, and you get coal or something dark, you put it over there and wipe it across, and then where it's been carved, that's where you can see. Oh, somebody wrote it down, and whatever they wrote it down, yesterday wrote it down. He wrote this book, and all right. Well, okay. He wrote it down, and then other people read it and studied it and memorized it and also wrote it down. And it's incredible that we have it today. And for such a long time, that was the only way for a book to be propagated. It's somebody writing it down, and then we got the printing press, and now we've got these books. This book was printed back in 1977, 20,000 copies of this one. And now it's online for the whole world to read in the database. Made even more user-friendly. You can search each word, like Yato Bhagavati. What does that mean? And you can click on that word Bhagavati and see all the places in the Bhagavatam where that word gets used, all the different applications for it. Most of this is done by volunteers who aren't getting paid anything. The artists, all volunteers, people working in the VBT, people, the devotees transcribing. So it's incredible. It's our incredible good fortune. And who are we? How do we deserve this? Like, what did I ever do? How come it came to me? So often there's the term that's used is causeless mercy. There's no reason. You just got it. So you're lucky. You're lucky enough to hear Srimad-bhagavatam. All right, so we'll look at this Sanskrit. Yato Bhagavati. Let's see, what does that mean? The translation is, at the time of death, according to the thinking, feeling, and willing of the mind, which is involved in fruitive activities, and receives a particular body. In other words, the body develops according to the activities of the mind. Changes of body are due to the flickering of the mind, for otherwise the soul could remain in its original spiritual body. So what's a Bhagavad Gita verse that talks about where your thoughts go? That's what carries you to the next body. Anyone have a Bhagavad Gita verse? I'll let you start. Something like at the time of death. Uh-huh. Hot on the trail. You're hot on the trail, yeah. I'm finding it. That Dharma knows it. Okay, what chapter is it in? 6? Okay, 6, take another guess, from 1 to 18. Let's see, is that mentioned in there? I don't know, I can't think of any in 2, but it's the one I'm thinking of is chapter 8. And it probably is going to be quoted in the purport. Let's see. Oh, well, there's one from 6, talking about the mind. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. That's talking about how the mind is out of control. Oh, here's another one, 14, about if you're in the mode of goodness, you go up, you get a better body. Let's see. Nope, he doesn't quote that. I was thinking that's definitely. Yep, there it is. Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena. That's from chapter 8. All right, so we've got all of these references in Bhagavad Gita throughout this purport. These are such rich purports. 10th Canto. It's like Prabhupada, sometimes he'll just give one line or even just a couple words of Sanskrit. It's as if he's saying, you must have read all the 9 cantos of the Bhagavatam by now, and you're conversant with this. So I'm just going to give you a couple of words, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Sometimes he'll just give a couple words from a Bhagavad Gita verse, and he won't bother translating. Oh, there it is. Okay, so yato dhavati, yato, from one place to another, or from one position to another, dhavati, speculates, daiva choditam. So daiva choditam, impelled by accident or deliberation, I guess by accident or deliberation, something comes up and causes you to dhavati, speculate, and your mind goes yata, from one place to another. So the first line, yato dhavati daiva choditam, yato dhavati daiva choditam. Mano vikaratmakam panchasu guneshu maya rachiteshu dehyasau prapadyamana sahatena jayate. Okay, anybody recognize any words? You recognize any of the Sanskrit? Oh yeah. Like in the Nishinga prayers, yato, yami tato, Nrsimha. Daiva. That's Jaiva. Jaivadam. Daiva is mana, yeah. And we'll make it easy for you. Vikara means changing. Vikara atmaka. Apa. At the end, he obtains panchashu at the time of death. Really? Pancha. What does pancha mean? 5, yeah. How would panchasu mean at the time of death? Do you know anything about this? Ashu? Ashu means life heirs. Okay, that's good. When the 5 kinds of life bodies, of life airs, leave the body, asu means life air. Uh-huh. Okay, thank you. Panchasu, then guneshu, mind not being liberated, becomes attached to the material qualities. Sorry. Maya rachiteshu. So we have 3 words ending in asu. Panchasu, guneshu, maya rachiteshu. Where the material energy creates a similar body. Interesting. Have you studied Sanskrit? Oh, good. It's going to be good. So, it seems like there's a progression. Panchasu, Guneshu, Maya Rachiteshu. So, Panchasu means that's the end of the body. The 5 life airs have left. Panchasu. Guneshu. So we have the gunas, the 3 modes of nature. And the mind is, because the mind is attached to them, therefore, Maya Rachiteshu, where the material energy creates a similar body. Okay. Dehi, the spirit soul who accepts such a body, asau, he, kapadyamana, being surrendered to such a condition, saha, with, hena, a similar body, chayati, takes birth. So that situation comes up, we're put into Maya Achiteshu, and we surrender to that condition. It's really high philosophy, and Vasudev's explaining it to Kamsa. It doesn't seem like a good time to be speaking all this high philosophy. But he's trying for it. So here we go. At the time of death, according to the thinking, feeling, and willing of the mind. All right, everyone, please repeat. At the time of death. According to the thinking, feeling, and willing of the mind, which is involved in furtive activities, one receives a particular body. In other words, the body develops according to the activities of the mind. Changes of body are due to the flickering nature of the mind. For otherwise, the soul could remain in its original spiritual body. Okay, if the mind wasn't flickering, we could be in our original spiritual body. Anyone have a reference for that? Quotation? Bhagavad Gita? Yoga Sutras? What's your name? Vamshidhari. Yoga Sutras, it starts off with Chitta Vritti Nirodha, that when you stop the functions of the mind, you get the mind to, here Prabhupada uses the word flickering. You keep the mind from flickering, you just keep it steady. Then you're able to, when you still the mind, then you can perceive the Paramatma. And in the Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 6, the Dhyana Yoga chapter says that Jitatmana Prashantasya Paramatma Samahita. So Jita means to conquer, Jitatmana, and here in this place, in this verse, Atma means the mind. So when you conquer the mind, Prashantasya, you become peaceful. Paramatma Samahita. Did I say it right, Manshida? Close enough. Jitatmana Prashantasya. So it's that easy. Just still the mind. You don't have to do all of the yoga. You don't have to do any devotional service. You don't have to get up in the morning. You could just sit and still the mind. And you'll see the Paramatma. It's that easy. But it's not that easy. We do all of these other things just to make the mind still, so that we can see the Paramatma. And our situation is different. So we'll see what Prabhupada brings out in this purport. Okay, but it's as simple as that. Stop the mind from flickering, and you're there. That's all we're trying to do. Okay, purport. One can very easily understand that the mind is constantly flickering, changing in the quality of its thinking, feeling, and willing. Okay, one can very easily. It was news to me when I first stepped into the temple. I was 18 years old, and they said, in the 3 o'clock in the morning, we walked into the temple room, and Haripad said, "These people are the most advanced people in all of the creation. They've given their lives to try to understand God." And they were sitting, chanting on their japa beads and falling asleep. And I thought, well, I can do better than that. He said, all you have to do is say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Listen to each syllable, and you'll see God in no time at all. And I thought, well, I could do that. I'm going to do a better job than those guys. I'll do this. It'll probably take me about a week or two. And so I sat down with the beads, and I was chanting. I said, yeah, just a couple of weeks, maybe even a couple of days. And then I noticed my mind was just going all over the place. Yeah, once I understand God, then I'll be able to get these things, and I'll be able to influence these people, and my life will be really cool. And and then I realized I wasn't listening to the Hare Krishna mantra, and I tried to bring my mind back. And it's been going on ever since, for the last 50 years. So anyway, it takes practice. So unless you try to control your mind, you have no idea. I remember thinking that, wow, I never tried controlling my mind before. I didn't know it was so out of control. Okay, so one can very easily understand that the mind is constantly flickering, changing in the quality of its thinking, feeling, and willing. This is explained by Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita 6:34. Let's hear you recite it, Amshidhar. 6:34. Translation and purport? Go ahead. No, you speak. Sanchalavadi Mana Krishna. Break it down. There's some strong words in there. Pramati, like you said, obstinate. Obstinate means like really stubborn. It's, oh yeah, you're going to try to stop me? I'm doing what I'm doing. Pramati, balavad, strong. Dridham, determined. The mind is determined. Tasyaham. What is nigraham? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. So controlling. Tasyaham nigraham manye. So manye, I think. Yeah. Well, this is Arjuna speaking. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he seems to know. He has done some yoga. He has done, let's see, at this point, yeah, they've been out, and he's sit in meditation, and he's done some practices like that. And then he's also dressed up like a sannyasi, pretending to be a sannyasi. As some of my Bengali friends say, this guy is a daytime brahmachari. Daytime brahmachari. You ever heard that before? Where are you from? What part of India are you from? Gujarat. Oh, okay. Other side. Okay, so here's what Prabhupada says. The mind is chanchala, flickering, and it changes very strongly. Therefore, Arjuna admitted that controlling the mind is not at all possible. This would be as difficult as controlling the wind. For example, if one were in a boat moving according to the wind on a river or the sea, and the wind were uncontrollable, the tilting boat would be very much disturbed and extremely difficult to control. It might even capsize. Therefore, in the Bhava Samudra, the ocean of mental speculation and transmigration to different types of bodies, one must first control the mind. Every year when there's a hurricane, you always hear of some redneck guy standing out at the beach with his shotgun, and when the wind comes, he says, get back, and he shoots a couple times, like trying to control the wind. It doesn't work that way. I don't know if that's a joke or there are actual people trying to do that. But it doesn't work. You can't chase the wind away. Okay, so, and Prabhupada gives a really visual picture here. If you're out on the boat and there's a strong wind, your little boat might even, he uses the nautical term, the Navy term, capsize. Does everybody know what that means, capsize? Yeah, flip it over. Capsize. We don't use that. It's mostly just it's a boating term. But Prabhupada has some experience on a boat. He talks about it. There's one purport in the second canto. which makes it look like he has written that after arriving in New York. Talks about the dangers of crossing the ocean. Okay, so here it's a different kind of ocean. We talk about a lot of different oceans. What are some other oceans that we talk about? We just sang one in Guru Puja. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Okay, that's an ocean. The ocean of the nectar of devotion. Yeah. Sri Guru Karuna Sindhu. Yeah. The Guru is an ocean of Karuna, of mercy. What other oceans? Oh, how about in Gurvashtakam? First verse. Just sing the first line. Samsara Dhava Nalami Aloka Pranaya Karunya Anavakanatvam Praptasya Kalyan Gunar Navasya Ande Guru Shri. It's not directly, but it's there. Usually when Prabhupada translates that verse, he's saying the Guru is just like a cloud and receives, let's see, the translation of it, the spiritual master is receiving mercy from the ocean of mercy. So he's like a cloud. So in Guru Vashtakam, he's like a cloud receiving mercy. But in this song, he's the ocean. He's the Karuna Sindhu. So whether he's the ocean or he's the cloud, still, as a cloud, you could say a cloud is even more merciful because the cloud is carrying it and pouring it on the forest fire of material existence. Okay. Any other oceans? Also, cross over the ocean of material suffering. Isn't that in Guru Vandanam also? Sri Guru Karuna Sindhu Akamati. Ocean of sweetness. Oh, where's that? Madhuri Sindhu. Oh, where's that verse? Okay. So many oceans. Some oceans we want to cross, some we want to swim in. So here, Prabhupada's brought up a new ocean, the Bhava Samudra, which he calls the ocean of mental speculation. And where did that come from, the Bhava Samudra? Is that something in this verse? I don't think so. It's not. All of a sudden, he just brought up the Bhava Samudra, and he calls it the ocean of mental speculation. Bhava. Well, there are two different words. Bhava. Bhava means the material world. Things that Bhava means coming into existence, and then Bhava, the belonging, is the feeling. And we've got Vamshidhar to confirm that. Is that right? Bhava and Bhava? Yes. And Bhava means coming into existence. What is it? Matatattvadarshini, chapter 2, Bhagavad Gita. How does that one start? Talks about reality means that which doesn't come into being, always exists. How does that one start? I know it. I know that verse. It's early on in chapter 2. Come on, everybody knows this one. Tvanayos Tattvadarshika. It's in that neighborhood. It's before that. It's right after Dehinosmin Yatavihi. Almanam Yoganam. Yeah. And then maybe it's even before. I know it. If I just hear the first word, I'll get it. Who's got a Gita here? Where? All right, let's see if you can find it before I do. Oh man, here it is. All right, we tied. Nasate, nasato vidyate bhava, so bhava, endurance. Na, abhava. Now that has a long A. What's up with that? Oh, is this the same bhava that we're reading about here? Bhava samudra? Oh no. Okay. So this is, all right, all these years I've been saying it wrong. Nasato vidyate bhava. And here bhava means endurance. Na abhava, changing quality. Now it's like totally different. Just by putting that long A. Abhava vidyate sata. Ubhayor api drishtantas vanayo advadashi. Avinashi tutadviti yena sarvam idam bhatam vinasham avyayasya nakashchid kartamarhati. Okay. So bhavo, and then what's the bhav, the feeling? How is that different? It's, yeah, before prema. But how is that bhav different from this one in pronunciation? Oh, it's just in context. It's just taken in context. What? Wait. Just like in the Nishinga prayers, Ito Nrsingha Parato Nrsingho. Sometimes it's Nrsingha, sometimes Nrsingho, and it's just because of the word that it's following. Sandhi. Okay, this guy knows everything. Sandhi. Ito Nrsingha Parato Nrsingho Yato Yamitato Nrsingho Abhava. Okay, he's got it down. All right, so we're deep in the Bhava Samudra, the ocean of mental speculation. Transmigration to different types of bodies is guaranteed. So one must first control the mind. All right, sounds impossible, but by regulative practice, one can control the mind. And this is the purpose of the yoga system, Abhyasa Yoga Yogena. So after that verse, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna, and Krishna speaks 2 verses, and in there he says, do you know those 2? 2 verses, Krishna replies to Arjuna's statement. And he says, Abhyasena, Vairagena, and Abhyasena, with practice and detachment. It is possible. Do you know? Indeed, it is probable. It is difficult. He agrees. He says yes. Okay, here we go. What's the number? We got this one. 34, so it'd be like 35, 36. Asangshayam. So, no doubt. There's no doubt. Mahabaho, Arjuna. Mano Nigraham Chalam. And then there's that Nigraham again, control. Nigraham means really difficult. Chalam, flickering. Abhyasena, to Kaunteya. Vairagena, Chagrihyate. So, abhyas means practice. And then that's what Prabhupada brings up here. But this verse is later on, it's in chapter 8. Abhyasa yoga yuktena, chetasya nanyagam, paramam purusham divyam, yati vakano chintayam. But there is a chance of failure with the yoga system, especially in this age of Kali, because the yoga system uses artificial means. This is an interesting point Prabhupada brings up many times. It's artificial. We are forcing the mind to go somewhere. But with Bhakti Yoga, we are trying to fall in love with Krishna. If the mind is engaged in Bhakti Yoga, however, by the grace of Krishna, one can very easily control it. And that was something that was brought up in the previous report. This is the word, apasmriti. Says, due to apasmriti, we've forgotten who we are. And Krishna is in control of forgetfulness. And then he quotes Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, I'm in charge of remembrance, knowledge, forgetfulness. Do you know that one? $15.15. Yeah. I know it. What's the first word? But it's the one where he says, yeah, I know. It's a dual purpose. Because from me come knowledge, remembrance, forgetfulness, and then the Vedas are meant for understanding. Yeah, so Prabhupada quoted that in yesterday's report. And he said, if you're a devotee and you're always trying to serve Krishna, and Krishna is in charge of apasmriti, and so he will help you to remember him. He was saying, sometimes while doing your service, you're not going to remember Krishna. You're doing your service, but if you're serving Krishna, Krishna's in charge of apasmriti, and at the time of death, he's going to help you out. So yeah, we really need that. With the yoga process, you could be always perfectly controlled, and then all of a sudden, just when it counts, just like Karna, just when it counted, when he was fighting against Arjuna, he forgot how to send the weapon. He forgot the mantras for shooting his most powerful weapon. That was due to a curse. The things happened. But with Krishna, you've got Krishna helping you out. We'll read that last sentence. If the mind is engaged in bhakti yoga, however, by the grace of Krishna, one can very easily control it. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Eva Kevalam. One should chant the holy name of the Lord constantly, for the holy name of the Lord is not different from Hari, the Supreme Person. By chanting the Hare Krishna mantra constantly, one can fix the mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. Savaya Mano Krishna Padara Vindayo. Now he's pulling a quotation from 9th Canto. And in this way, achieve the perfection of yoga. Otherwise, the flickering mind will hover on the platform of mental speculation for sense enjoyment, and one will have to transmigrate from one type of body to another, because the mind is trained only in relation to the material elements, or in other words, to sense gratification, which is false. Now he's pulling a quotation from the 7th Canto. Maya Sukhaya Paramud Mahato Vimudhai. All right, for 20 points. Do you know where this is from? Who is speaking this? Big hint, it's in the 7th Canto. Here's sort of the translation. Rascals, Vimudhan, being controlled by mental speculation, make huge arrangements by which to enjoy life temporarily. But no, take you close though. One of his family members. There you go. All right, you win. Who is he speaking to? I don't think so, not at this point. Yeah, this is part of his prayers. He's saying, I don't care about peace. I don't care about going to the mountains to practice meditation. I'm really concerned about these people who are Maya Sukhaya. Sukha means happiness. So they're chasing after illusory happiness. Maya Sukhaya. Bharam. And bharam means it's a heavy burden. They're carrying a heavy burden because of that. Udvahato vimudhan. They're mudhas. And Prabhupada uses the word rascals a lot in his translations, even though there's nothing really directly saying rascal, but Prabhupada is just pretty fiery when he's translating that. Rasboiniks. Rascals, Rasboinik, being controlled by mental speculation, make huge arrangements by which to enjoy life temporarily, but they must give up the body at the time of death when everything is taken away by Krishna's external energy. I was quoting Bhagavad Gita, Mrityu Sarva Haraschaham. Where's that from? Chapter 10? Mrityu Sarva Haraschaham. I think so, chapter 10, isn't that right? At that time, whatever one has created in this life is lost, and one must automatically accept a new body by the force of material nature. So that verse spoken by Prahlad, he's saying, I really feel sorry for these people. And Prabhupada feels sorry for them too, but he's also calling them rascals. He's getting angry at them, but he's also feeling sorry for them. It's like Prabhupada's anger is kind of like anger of a parent. Like, why are you doing these stupid things? Get your life together. In this life, one may have constructed a very tall skyscraper, but in the next life, because of one's mentality, one may have to accept a body like that of a cat, a dog, a tree, or perhaps a demigod. Thus the body is offered by the laws of material nature. Karanam Gunasangosya Sadasat Yoni Janmasu. Now he's quoting chapter 13. Spirit soul takes birth in higher and lower species of life only because of his association with the three qualities of material nature. Now, chapter 14. Urdvam gachanti sattvasta madhye tishtanti rajasa jaganya gunavrittista adho gachanti tamasa. Those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upward to the higher planets. Those in the mode of passion live in the earthly planets. Those in the mode of ignorance go down to the hellish worlds. In conclusion, the Krishna consciousness movement offers the topmost welfare activity for human society. The saner section of human society must therefore take this movement very seriously for the benefit of all humanity. The saner section of society. Prabhupada uses that phrase in a few places, the saner section of society. What does that imply? Most of society is not sane, they're crazy. To save oneself from the repetition of birth and death, one must purify his consciousness. Now he's quoting Narada Bhakti Sutras, Sarvopani Vanirmuktam Tatparat Vena Nirmuktam. Sarva Upadi. One must be freed from all designations, upadis. I am American, I am Indian, I am this, I am that. And come to the platform of understanding that Krishna is the original master, and we are his eternal servants. When the senses are purified and engaged in Krishna's service, one achieves the highest perfection, and it gives the rest of that verse from Narada Bhakti. Is it Narada Bhakti Sutras? Where that's from? It's by Narada. Yeah, we better find that out. But this verse is taken by Rupa Goswami and made into Anyavilashita Shunya Jnanakarmakya. So Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchati. Krishna consciousness movement is a movement of Bhakti Yoga. Now he's quoting. There's so many quotations here. All right. Vairagya Vidya Nicha Bhakti Yoga. Okay, who knows where this is from? Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He wrote how many verses glorifying Lord Chaitanya? Was it 64? 100. Sarvabhauma's 100 verses. And then 2 of those verses somebody wrote on the wall. And when Lord Chaitanya saw the verses Sarvabhauma had written, he said, glorifying me? No. Get rid of this. But he wrote it down again. Those were preserved. So, Vairagya Vidya Nisha Bhakti Yoga. There's so much packed in here. The way he's just throwing these little phrases, and if you know the backstory, these purports are so rich, but we have to end pretty soon. Vairagya Vidya Nisha Bhakti Yoga. By following the principles of this movement, one becomes disassociated from material mental concoctions and is established on the original platform of the eternal relationship between the living entity and Supreme Personality of Godhead as servant and master. This, in summary, is the purpose of the Krishna consciousness movement. So if someone asks, what is the purpose of the Krishna consciousness movement? Read this whole purport to them. The translation and commentary. This in summary. And what is it in summary? what is the purpose? Can you tell us? Just a couple of points from what we just read. Yes. Yes. That was good. So memorize that, and that can be your elevator speech. When someone asks, what is the purpose of the Hare Krishna movement? You could say, by following the principles of this movement, one becomes disassociated from material mental concoctions and is established on the original platform of the eternal relationship between the living entity and the Supreme Personality of God as servant and master. And people will say, oh, okay, can you give some references from Srimad-bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and the shlokas by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Narada Pancharatra to support this? And you'll be, yes. Okay, Srimad-bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna. And how do we turn this off?
What? Turn it off. This was about the child.
One of these.
I got it.
You know which one? Use this.
Wait a minute. Okay. Let's just close this. End the stream.